Yo people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I didn't know what channel I was on then, didn't know whether to say full-time Devil's Paddock, AdamMcKola TV. What's going on? It's that kind of day. It has been a long day, but we are here for another United Daily Live. And as I promised you, despite the news earlier, that we are moving on to bigger things in the Devils and Paddock merger, I am of course here every single day with content on AdamMcKola TV as well. We're not abandoning this channel, not this time, no. So make sure you're keeping it locked, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing, you're subscribing. We've actually had over 1,000 subscribers in the last day, which is incredible for my channel. It's probably the best 24 hours I've had in a long time in terms of subscriber growth. So thank you very much to everybody that has subscribed to AdamMcKola TV. Make sure you're subscribing if you're not already. Hit that like button, comment and share as well, as we're here on the day where Manchester United confirmed Nemanja Matic's new contract and he got his deal sorted out. So we've got all the quotes and things that are coming out from that. Also, we've got rumours in relation to Solskjaer's transfer targets in the summer. What kind of players is he going to be signing? And then we can kind of think of, all right, if this is true and he is targeting these players in those positions, then surely it's going to be either one of these players or this player or that. So we can start to speculate about what players we think may be in, to come in. Dortmund are closing in on that signing of Bellingham as well, and the stories about them and potential new transfers for them as well. So could that mean Jadon Sancho is edging closer to an exit, or are they going to keep a hold of him? Who knows what's going to happen with that one. I am feeling quietly confident though that United are going to sign him, and I have been confident about that for a while now. I've been incredibly confident that United are going to sign Jadon Sancho. So if we don't end up signing him, I'm probably going to be very disappointed. But nevertheless, we are here and we're going to talk first. Actually, let's do an on this day first. We normally end the show with an on this day, but let's start the show with an on this day. If this is your first time here on AdamMcKola TV, then what we do on United Daily or any other live is we have a flick through this book now in 365 days, or about, because we've done this about 5 times, in around 360 days we're going to need to get a new book probably, but nevertheless we're going to stick it out and we're going to keep going. Now it is obviously 6th of July today, so we've got a big long on this day. This is check that out. All the others are just little paragraphs. This one is a massive one. So let's get stuck into this on this day. Wednesday the 6th July 2011. Andy Cole believes Manchester United can get through a transitional period before producing another golden generation to repeat the family feel given by the likes of Neville's, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Nicky Butt and Wes Brown from the early 1990s. Cole tells the Manchester Evening News, with only Ryan Giggs remaining, remember this is in 2011, it does feel like the end of an era. I grew up with all those lads after joining from Newcastle, and I was very new to Old Trafford when they were brought into the side. It was great for me to be around them. They made my transition from new boy to being part of the squad easier. They were fantastic characters, and I just loved where's he gone? I just loved the banter they had. It came from being together at a young age. He went on to say, whenever a new players arrived, they brought into that togetherness because it was always around you. The home-produced boys and locals made it a family club. It is not often so many players from your own system come through at once, so it's going to be tough to replicate. But there are still many Manchester lads coming through. That was in 2011. Giggs and Scholes left in 2013. Now, obviously at that time, Scholes had just announced his retirement, so you can understand why he's saying Giggs is the only one left. But it feels like we've finally replicated that family feel, those traditions back at Manchester United again. That's not to say we've recreated the class of 92 and we're going to storm it and we're going to win 13 league titles, 2 European Cups and all of that, although we hope for those kind of things. But we've definitely recreated that vibe at Manchester United, that vibe and that family feel around the club. We've got younger players breaking into the team. We're being led by Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, 2 academy products, and in the middle a very good young foreign player as well, which we've always done. We've always bought players from around the country or around the UK and Ireland. We've dipped into those markets and we've brought in the best players as well as accommodating and accompanying with our best young players. So it's great to see us doing that again, and it's just great to see some quotes from Andy Cole in 2011. 2 years later, Giggs and Scholes left after Scholes came back from retirement with Fergie leaving, and then we kind of lost our way all the way through until 2020, where we've kind of felt like we've got back to that again. Anyway, from on this day to some super chats from some of you legends. So we got Abdul Rahman in the comments saying, if you could bring in one player this summer that isn't Jadon Sancho, who would you bring in? Cheers from NYC, massive fan. Thank you very much, Abdul Rahman. Thank you for getting involved. The player I would bring in that wasn't Jadon Sancho would be Jack Grealish, and I've said that a lot, so I'm going to go with Jack Grealish. How you doing, Sean Ralph? Thank you for joining us. Tim Walsh, hope you're good. Jason Gore says Sancho, Ake and Grealish. That's who he wants United to sign. M. Turkistani also has a super chat and says, Adam, when are you going to be on the kickoff? Well, thank you very much for your super chat. First of all, M. Turkistani. But I don't know when. Hopefully soon. I spoke to Bry, aka True Geordie, last week, and hopefully we'll be getting on very, very soon. But it's just a case of us arranging a date. So I can't confirm that yet, but we will be on very, very soon. Finley M1's also got a super chat, and he says, how's your day been, mate? Thank you very much, first of all, Finley. It's been a good day. It's been a long day, but we have been plugging away and we have been getting lots done. And obviously, we've had a big day in kind of like the history of Devils and all that, which is a bit of a madness. Make sure you're subscribing to Paddock/Devils right now if you're confused by what I'm talking about. Anyway, Bryce Menezes also has a super chat. Whoa, we're on fire today. He says, what would be your ideal transfer window? Right. So before we go into that, I'll answer that question very, very shortly, Bryce Menezes. And thank you for your super chat, because this is about the news. So let's get talking about the news. Now, this story has been reported around in the UK that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has set his transfer targets. And he has set his transfer targets and he's reported Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to prioritise signing a right winger, a striker before a centre-back. So he's looking to get a right winger and a striker before a centre-back. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to keep a hold of Phil Jones? Does that mean he's going to promote the likes of Teddy Mengi, keep Axel Tuanzebe in the squad? Who's going to be our centre-halves next season? We can safely assume Harry Maguire, Lindelof are going to be here. We've heard rumours about Bailly leaving. I hope that's not the case. So let's say Bailly, Lindelof and Maguire's here. Axel Tuanzebe is one which I'm not sure with, because unless he's going to get first team football and he's going to play regularly, he needs to go away and get minutes and maybe prove himself again on loan. But I think he's as good as, you know, Bailly and Lindelof, and he should be getting an opportunity, especially when you look at Maguire maybe not pulling up trees at the moment. So you've got Axel Tuanzebe there. Rojo, going to be gone. Smalling, going to be gone. Who knows what happens with Phil Jones? Does Teddy Mengi come into the squad if Phil Jones leaves as a replacement for him and start playing in games here and there? Or will we sign a centre-back? Because if we're prioritising a right winger, safe to say Jadon Sancho, it's going to be around 80, 90, 100 million, 110 million. If we get in Jadon Sancho, then we're going to look for a striker potentially. There's talk about Kai Havertz and this, that and the other. And before a centre-back, and there's also interest in a holding midfielder, then it'd be a bit of a mad one, because I would have expected a holding midfielder to maybe come next year because of the fact we've kept hold of Matic. So I don't know. My ideal summer would be, and this is the answer to your question, Bryce, would be Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, Thomas Partey, those three. And maybe if you're lucky, you get a centre-half as well. But those would be the three for me in this summer. But with Matic staying, that makes a defensive midfielder less likely. So I would have thought it would have been, so this is a prediction rather than a wish. I would have thought it would have been Jadon Sancho potentially, an attacking midfielder like a Grealish or something, and a centre half. But then you could also talk of a striker here. So are we going to get a striker with Igalo leaving in January, the season starting in September? Halfway through the season, we'd be left without a striker. Are we going to target a striker and then have Mason, Marshall, Marcus, Igalo, a striker, a right winger, Daniel James, like all these players? It's a little bit mad, isn't it? We've got a super chat, another one from Beam Player, and he says, pray for Jay. You've been involved a lot today, mate. I'll send you over on the other channel as well. So thank you very much for your involvement today over the last couple of days. Abby Ram, you can stop commenting the word Koulibaly now, mate, because I have seen your comment. Finley M1 says we need Sancho, and we really do need Sancho, and that's why I know it doesn't mean it's the first choice, but a right winger is on there. Now Jacob says a CDM, a striker, and a right winger. I think that's fair, but with us keeping it, with us signing Igalo, I didn't think we'd maybe sign a striker, to be honest. Maybe wait until January, but we might think it's possible now and go and do it. So who knows? But it's really weird, isn't it? Could you get someone like a Kai Havertz where he can play in a multiple positions, so then he kind of covers all of them? Or do you go out for an out-and-out striker to fill in and just think, Igalo's gone in January. We know he's going to leave. He's got a few months left. We can just replace him now and have like a sort of crossover period. So who knows what's going to happen. But I think a right winger's a cert. I think that has to happen. I think some sort of midfielder is going to happen, whether it's an all-round midfielder, an attacking midfielder, a defensive midfielder. I think some sort of midfielder will be signed, and a defender. We need to strengthen in a few positions, but we're very, very close to, a complete 11. Maybe a couple of positions under question mark. You would have said left back before the restart of the campaign. Centre back, you're looking at that still, and you've got a few question marks. Right wing's the other one. Obviously, before Nemanja Matic's form, you would have said DM. Those are the positions that you're looking at as potential areas for where we need to improve. Because if you bring in those players, your bench immediately improves as well. So when you look at the bench and you see some of the likes of Andreas Pereira potentially, there's rumours of Mata leaving. If Pereira left, Mata left, Lingard left, you replace all three of them with a Jack Grealish, and you've got, your bench has already improved. And then the remainder of those players can be replaced with youth players from the team. What do I think of Tyrone Mings from Villa, says Vinit Jain. I'd probably take Tyrone Mings over Nathan Ake, but I don't know. I'm pretty. It's like 50-50 on those as a backup centre half, because they're getting relegated potentially. They're not going to want to go down or be in a relegation battle again next season, and Manchester United would be able to attract them to the club. We know we would be able to, even if it is as a third, fourth choice centre half. And you'd think someone like Ake or Mings would probably fancy themselves to, once they get a chance, kind of try and fight for the place and make it their own. They're that good as players, so it'd be interesting to see if we target any of them. I think we will sign a right winger, midfielder, and central defender. That would be good. That would be good. We definitely need players in those positions. Anyway, as we said as well, Nemanja Matic's contract was confirmed today, and obviously I think the length of time was a little bit of a shock, and I did mention yesterday after the Fabrizio Romano article came out and we covered it on this on United Daily Live, I did mention that maybe it's a +1 situation, but this is the full confirmation from Man United. Nemanja Matic is proud. Oh wait, wrong one. Let me get the full article first. One sec. Right, Man United is delighted to announce that Nemanja Matic has signed a new contract which will keep him at the club until the June 2023. Matic joined United in 2017 and has made 114 appearances for the club. He said, "I am very happy that I will continue to be a part of this great club. As a player, I still have a lot more to give and achieve in my career, and to do that with Manchester United will be a huge honour. It's a really exciting team to be a part of. We have a good balance of youth and experience within the squad, and there's great camaraderie amongst the group. This is a key part of the season. We're playing well. We will continue to fight to finish the season on a high and make our supporters proud." Ollie said, "I am delighted that Nemanja has signed a new contract. I know his experience, professionalism and leadership will be invaluable to this young talented group. We have great strength in midfield, and Nemanja's attributes are a key part of that. Nemanja has been here for 3 seasons now and really understands the value of playing for Man United. He remains hugely ambitious and determined, which will be vital as we look to achieve our aims over the coming years." So Nemanja Matic's contract confirmed until 2023. That's a 3-year deal that has been given, which is remarkable, really, because I think 6 months ago you looked at the Man Utd and you thought, this geezer is finished. His legs looked gone, his head looked gone. He was rarely in position. He was getting beat easy. He was getting thrown out of play. He's never relied on his pace, but all the good things that he had about his game, they were gone. And more recently, in the last couple of months, he was good at the start of Ollie's return. Ollie's caretaker manager period, and then he had a massive drop off in form. And then since then, this season, midway through, he's started to be involved, and he's looked fantastic. Whether it's because he's had a rest, whether it's because he's finally caught up with, the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to play. We got to remember, Nemanja Matic was someone that was so set in his ways of, being with like a manager like Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, different managers, that maybe when Ole come in, it took him a while to catch up to that. And Jose Mourinho also played him an awful lot as well. Overplayed him, you might say. So you can take those into consideration, and you think he's 31, 32. He's not that old. He should still be enjoying some decent time in his career. So if we manage to give him game time in the important games, maybe take him out in others, manage his game time, I think he could be a useful player for us for the foreseeable future, for the next 12 to 18 months. But you start to worry if you overplay him again and he comes back, and we see that Nemanja Matic of a few months ago, and hopefully he's not just been playing for a new deal as some players do. They seem to pick it up when a new deal's on the line and step it up and get a new deal and then turn to shit again. Hopefully that's not the case around now. DJ Beachy with a super chat says, what about Alaba in his prime years and cheap? Obviously he's a fantastic player. Whether I think he's going to be leaving Bayern Munich, who knows? But there was a story today, and we may as well read this out now, where Hansi Flick is hoping that 2 prized assets can be retained by the Bundesliga champions, but we respect whatever decision is made. Bayern Munich will let Thiago Alcantara and David Alaba dictate their own future, with the pair yet to sign contract extensions amid links to the likes of Liverpool and Man City. Looks like Thiago could be going to Liverpool. David Alaba obviously being linked with Manchester City. But 28 years old, plays on the left wing, can play in central midfield, plays all over the gaff. Primarily though, he's a left back, and you maybe think Ollie might be fancying Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams breaking through. He might think, I don't need to spend in that area. We've also got Diogo Dalot about. How many games has Alaba played this season? Played a fair amount of games. Played 28 of their league games. I don't know how many of them were starts, but it looks like he could be on the move, especially with Bayern Munich saying it's open to him. United's name hasn't been linked to him though, so I'm not too sure. Ross says Ake 25 million. Alderweireld was that at the time. True. Maybe some would say we've dodged a bullet on Alderweireld, and I was someone that really wanted him as well. But he seemed to fall off a cliff recently. But Ake for 25 million, you could probably get Tyrone Mings for around the same. If they get relegated, there could be some potentially good deals to be had from the teams that go down in terms of getting that backup centre half. But is there any point buying an Ake or a Tyrone Mings when you've got Axel Tuanzebe at United? I think Axel Tuanzebe is probably better than both of them, but he hasn't been able to play as consistently as them. He has played a decent amount, but that was because of injuries, says Beachy in the comments. Nice one. I'd take him. I think he's a very good player, but I just don't think it would happen, and I don't think a left back is really a priority for us, like Cyberman says in the comments. Guendouzi says the red going. I don't want him at Manchester United, but I've just seen that Arsenal, David Ornstein reported that Guendouzi could be on the move from Arsenal, which is a little bit of a surprise. He's a proper knobhead though, isn't he? Matteo Guendouzi, not David Ornstein. I think Ornstein is fantastic and does a great job with what he does. United's game is in a few days against Aston Villa, so we'll get the preview up tomorrow. I'll probably get like Dean on that and Jay or something like that, maybe Joe as well. We'll see who's hanging around to do a preview tomorrow, and we'll get a preview up on here. But also there'll be United Daily at 12 o'clock as well. So make sure if you're not subscribed, you're subscribing. You're hitting that notifications button as well. There's going to be a slight change to the schedule on AdamMcKola TV. Obviously, as things change with us getting involved again with Devils / Paddock, we'll say that for today only. And with us getting involved in that again, wholeheartedly getting back on it, making all the things that you loved over on that channel. Obviously, it means I can't do the match day live on here. So there's going to be no watch-alongs on here, but you'll have a watch-along with me over on there. So we'll be on there and we'll have a watch-along on that. You know, we'll have my review on this channel. We'll still have the Aftermath live the day after the game. We'll still have things like Master Debaters. That's still going to be coming up. The Debater Show with me, Jay and Joe. We're still going to have things like Weekly United. Premier League Gazette's still going to happen. So we're going to have all of those things still coming through. And all that content coming your way. So make sure you're keeping it locked. And of course, there's going to be exclusive members content as well for the members. They've still got 2 videos coming up this month. 1 coming up this week. And 1 coming up at the end of the month as well. Because I haven't given June's just yet. But we've got about 110 members. So thank you to those that have joined us. We're 90 away from hitting the target of 200 by the end of August. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Vinesh says we have 4 games in like 8 days soon. We will need the squad. Yeah, when you look at next week's diary, it's absolutely mental. So we've got on the 9th, we've got Aston Villa versus Manchester United. On the 13th, we've got Southampton at home. Then on the 16th, we've got Crystal Palace away. Then on the 19th, we've got that game against Chelsea at Wembley in the FA Cup. So we got 4 games in 10 days, 9th to the 19th. And really it's 5 games in 13 days, because then on the 22nd we've got West Ham, and on the 26th we've got Leicester City, and that will round up the league campaign for us. And hopefully we'll still have another game to come, with that being the FA Cup final at the end of the month before we go into that Europa League. But obviously we can't count our chickens just yet, because we've not got to the final, and we've got a difficult task in Chelsea ahead, even though we have beaten 3 times this season already. 24/7 CF says, I really don't want Grealish. He doesn't fit in at all. Yes, Manny, no worries, man. We'll definitely keep it up. We're gonna defo keep it up. We're just gonna lose things like watch-alongs and all that. Which one of these games would you rest some players? That's a good shout. I think you could like maybe think, all right. And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you rest one against Villa, one against one of Bruno and Pogba against Villa, one against who's the game after that? How could I forget? Southampton. So you could rest one there. Southampton looked good against Manchester City, didn't they? That's proving to be a probably more difficult game than we expected it to be. We've got another super chat. Where's that disappeared to now? Let's get a win against Villa and get hitting that like button as well. Thank you very much for the comment and a super chat. Rebecca. Tim Walsh in the comments as well says, I'd love if we signed 3 players, but will Glazers fork out the money? Depends who they are, how much the money is, all that kind of stuff. Is it going to be... Sancho's going to be a lot of money. We're trying to drive that price down. If we drive that price down on Sancho, then we've got a little bit more wiggle room. If you could sell some of your players, let's say you sell Jones for 10, 15 million. Who knows? Newcastle might hit the lotto and we can sell him for 20 million. But let's say, worst case scenario, you sell Phil Jones for 10 million. You sell Smalling for around 18 million. There's been talk about that. So let's say between Smalling and Jones, we got 25 mil to 30 mil. And then you sell Rojo for probably another 10 mil. So hopefully you can raise 40 mil from that. Andres Pereira or Jesse Lingard potentially leaves. Juan Mata potentially leaves. There's talk about him leaving. You know, you could potentially raise another bit of money as well. Mata's not long signed a new deal, so they're going to have to pay to get him out of United. So there's various ways we can raise money. And if our transfer budget, I think it's probably going to be around 100 million. to 125 million if we're lucky. And then you add a few sales on. You know, we've probably got around 150 mil to spend. If Sancho costs around 90 to 100 mil, we got 50 million to spend. What then? Who can you get with that? So you probably readjust your targets based on that. But let's see. Aman says, couldn't Milinkovic-Savic play as a CDM? Possibly, but he's going to cost dough, and I don't see that one happening. United fam says, shall we just win the league next year? I think that's the plan, to win that. Hope you guys are doing well. Paul B says 2 signings only, and you know it, Sancho and one other with 4 players out. Plus we got Igalo to January, so they'll probably think that's three signings, won't they? Ross says no one compares to Carrick. God, I miss Carrick. What a player he was. We got another super chat from D. We're on fire with these super chats today. D says Bruno should play against Villa for the first half, aims to get the lead, and then can be rested for the next half. Yeah, and plus Bruno looks like one of them players where you're not going to be getting him to rest. He's going to say, nah, I want to play every single game. Grealish is the man, says Philippe. Defo want Grealish. Looks like here's another one. Give the 50 mil to Igalo, says Beans. I think we'd probably be all for that, wouldn't we? Everyone loves Adi Igalo. Our team is ready. A few signings and a new manager. Whoa. How are you going to slip that one in there, Saint 98? I don't think you can be getting rid of Ali just yet. Isn't a great job so far. Name the players who we will get, says Irfan. Sancho and Grealish. I don't know who else we're getting. Supercharged chat tonight, says Paul B. 100% supercharged chat. Don't know what's going on. Dara misses Carrick. Ross misses Herrera. And Amit says, what about Ruben Neves? Amit. Good player, isn't he? Are we going to be able to get Wolves to get rid of him? They got a bit of money themselves. Ryan, thank you very much, bro. D-Miz, what's going on? And Sean says, I don't want Grealish, would prefer Havertz. I suppose he can play more, you know, he can play up top a little bit as well. Provide, but I want to see Grealish at Old Trafford in a United shirt. I think that would be fun. Super chats are because everyone is excited to get our fan channel back right after we got our team back. And I think that's probably a great place to end it because the channel is your channel. So make sure you're keeping it locked and getting involved with everything that we're doing over on Paddock now. That's what it is. I got to get used to saying that. So make sure you're subscribing over there. You're subscribing to AdamMcKola TV as well. Like I said, I've had like over 1,000 new subscribers in the last day. So thank you to everyone for subscribing. Thank you to the old subscribers as well because you lot have been absolute legends in the last 3-4 months of lockdown and without me being on full-time Devils. So I've appreciated all your support. We're going to keep it going. We've got AdamMcKola TV. We've got Paddock now. We got, you know, get subscribing to Steve's channel. Get subscribing to the FC channel. Get subscribing to all of them because there's going to be so much more coming your way. Jay's got a channel. Scotty and Matty. Joe's probably got a channel by the time we finish talking about this. We've also got Straight Up, which is mine and Dee's channel. So we got just so much going on. So much content for you lot. If you subscribe to all of them, you'll get all of it. And for now, I'm going to get out of here. We will be back at 12. I was about to say 10:30 in the morning. I don't think so. It's going to be 12 o'clock in the afternoon for United Daily. And then we'll have a preview up later on in the day. So make sure you're here for that. Until... Ooh, Graham just got his super chat in great time. I didn't want to ignore that. Who do you think could replace Matic? I can't think of anyone similar to him as being, and he's been key. McSauce is good but hasn't got the same passing quality. I'm hoping, because McTominay seems very switched on mentally, seems like he wants to do a good job. He's got a lot of physical attributes. I'm hoping the Nemanja Matic is in his ear, he's talking to him, he's trying to get, you know, in there. We've got James Garner, who's not physical, but he's someone that could do a Michael Carrick thing and just sit there and be really good, you know, cover that blade of grass mentally in front of everybody and pass about and just get the ball away. But he's more of a deep line playmaker again, James Garner. He's not that, you know, central defensive midfielder that you need. So it's difficult. I wanted Thomas Partey before the Nemanja Matic signed this deal. and I still kind of do. So I'd say him, but I'm hoping McTominay can pick up something from Nemanja Matic in the next couple of months. Anyway, guys, thank you for all of that. Thank you for tuning in. I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.